Hello and welcome everyone to what is this construction that's going on in the middle of the intro?
The keys, jingling keys.
How dare you?
And I was putting away my pad, sketch pad.
Let me try again with the proper dignity afforded the intro. Hello and welcome to our next episode of FBC 1968. We are now in the midst of a domestic dispute, I think is fair enough to call it. Our section, I don't even remember what the number is.
C, right?
That's right. It's
C. Yeah.
it's so much a number. It's a letter. Yes. So section
E.
C.
The
Section
pirate's favorite letter.
Yes. Right. Section C is the they're in the midst of this conflict with this surprise gentleman, let's say, armed with a gun, because both of these parties seem to have broken into Hammacher's Antiques at the same time. So we're going to handle that today. And of course, if the rest of the if all of the players assembled here, if their characters survive, then we might continue with the game.
Woo!
But I don't want to, fingers crossed. I don't want to say anything.
Don't jinx it.
Yeah, don't jinx it.
We're all gonna die.
I mean, I can allow that to happen.
I'm gonna arrange that.
Yeah.
Oops.
Okay, so last time we were together, all right. So it's, if I remember correctly, the armed fellow had just come down the back stairs of Hammacher Antiques. The lot of you were examining this lamp on the table in a corner portion of the sort of back room area. And he was calling out for a friend of his, I believe. And upon hearing that his friend did not respond, and in fact these 4 or 3 complete strangers responded, he got a little antsy and pulled a gun. So first things first, let's see. What I want, I was okay. Full disclosure: I recently woke up from a nap, so that's why my brain is sputtering like dune buggy. Let's see. So Cullen, I need you to make a stealth check for me.
I did last time.
I need you to make a
That's
new stealth check for me.
Okay. Let's see, where's my stealth? Okay. I have any advantages?
Unless you happen to remember what the number was.
I think it was in like the high teens, but I'll roll again. Just
Can't
to be
do
on the
better.
safe side. Yeah. 16. So yeah, still high teens.
Okay, 16. Very good. All right. So our friend here gets an opportunity to try to perceive you as per the rules. So you guys have read the rules of Dungeons and Dragons, right?
No.
My grandma hasn't, but I'll explain it to her later.
Oh, okay. All right, great.
Hi, Ross's Gravy!
So you're able to sort of dart out of the way and hide behind a series of sort of wooden crates and tchotchkes and various bric-a-brac, right? And this gentleman has still got the gun trained at the rest of you. That includes Reese, PLUM, and Ada. And he just finished up by saying that he wouldn't need any of you really anymore now that his friend is out of the question. So, yes.
I would like to shoot him.
Well, I mean, of course you do. Yeah. What I'd like to do now is to roll initiative, please.
The
The
one thing
grandma's
I
out there. That's being called a murder hobo.
What's that?
Not really. He's
Oh.
threatening us already.
Yeah.
The one question I was asking is, could I get an attack sort of out of initiative?
Yeah, you're going to get a surprise round. I just want to go ahead and... Yeah.
Okay.
Roll. For the sake of getting the order down.
Yes. So...
Oh, it's a good thing, too.
I mean, I have a -1 to initiative, so I'm always expecting to be pretty low down.
I don't have any negatives, but I don't have any positives.
Got a bit of a positive. Got a 9 total.
9 for Ada. Okay.
Hey, same!
Hey!
9 for Reese.
You both did better than me.
But Ada will have the higher dexterity score, I'm sure of it. I have an 8.
Yes. Cool.
I
Plum?
rolled an 8.
You rolled an 8? Okay. 8 for Cullen. And Plum?
A 4.
4.
Ooh.
Very cool.
So bad.
First roll of the new dice. Not
Nice.
looking that so good.
You got to break them in a bit. A few rolls, let them get used to your table.
Yeah, you have to build up their loyalty.
Yeah, make sure you give them a bath later.
Well, at
Give
least
them
these
some
won't
nice
rust in the bath.
I didn't follow
Give
your
them some nice
logic.
soaps.
Okay.
You have to appease your dice.
Yeah, you have to treat them like they're a senior in a convalescent
Gemstone?
home.
I was
Is it-
going with tiny dog, but sure that.
Oh, okay. Well.
Since when do tiny dogs like baths, though?
Well, okay. Yeah, you've melted down the iron logic.
Depends on the dog, and if it's a pool, it's fine.
Yeah, for some reason.
After
Uh-huh.
it's shaved. Anyway, may I take my shot?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. All right. I guarantee I missed. So
Oh
I
no.
would. It's a total of 8. So I would like to spend.
Does he have advantage from being hidden?
Oh,
Usually no.
Let me check with the judges. Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
I do?
Yeah, you got it. Yeah.
okay,
Nice.
cool. Thank you.
Well, we have some time to sort of, line up the shot.
Cool. Total of 21.
Okay.
There we go.
That definitely hits then.
All right.
Yeah.
And that is a total of 4 damage.
4 damage to this gentleman. Okay.
Woohoo!
Now I have a question. Is this a surprise round where I get my action and bonus action? Or is
It's-
it just one attack?
It's just a regular you're just taking your turn ahead of time,
Cool. Then I would immediately, I believe I can. Yep, I'm going to use my immediacy to then get another attack.
Okay.
So I'm going to put 2 bullets in this guy before he can react.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully. Ooh, even better. That's a 24 to hit.
That also hits. To no one's surprise.
And that is 8 damage this time.
Okay. So,
Well, I mean, who knows? He could be a Trask in disguise. In which
Oh,
case, that would have
God.
missed.
Jeez, don't give him any ideas. That's how we all die. I know. I've done that to my players before.
Look, sometimes you need a little bit of creative editing. That's all.
yeah. What was that
And it also teaches your players to shut their mouths.
what was that damage for the last shot?
Total of 8.
8 damage for the last shot? Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, so you get into a proper firing position. You line up the shot. You do a quick, fire 2 shots. And the rest of you see this gentleman, who's got the gun trained at you, take a bullet to what looks like sort of the midsection, the sort of right hand ribs, and another directly in the neck.
Ooh. Ooh.
You
All right,
see
regular
him.
dude, 12 hit points, enough to probably kill. Okay.
You see him sort of like collapse off to the left, sort of smack against the back wall of Hamakura Antiques, and start to. You see him. His hand goes loose. He drops the gun, which clatters down the stairs, and you see he starts to like actively fall down the remainder of the stairs.
Ooh.
So no one stops that.
No.
Okay.
I figured
I don't
if
think
we
I'm
were
close
still
enough
initiative
to.
order.
I know I'm at the bottom of the stairs, but no, he just basically said he was going to kill me. I'm letting him die.
Okay. So you see this man
I'm courteous.
slump.
I'm not that courteous.
Well, sure. Yeah. He slumps against the wall, falls down the stairs, and ends up in this sort of bloody, barely conscious heap at the bottom of the stairs. He is sort of moaning in pain. He's got his hand clasped to his neck to try to stem the flow of blood. But you can see he's seriously hurt.
I'm going to walk over his body, walk up the stairs, and grab his gun.
Okay, you do so.
Oh, it's not my turn. Sorry.
He is. Let's see here.
I wasn't sure if we were outside of initiative, but that is definitely my intention.
Well, given that the combatant is sort of in a incapacitated position, not strictly speaking, we're out of initiative right now.
All right. I'll move out from my corner and just put my gun to his head and say, "Should I finish him off?"
No.
Could we not
As
just
I
go around murdering people?
We're gonna shoot you. I saved your asses.
He's not going to do it now. I'm gonna get over there and see what I can do in terms of medical aid.
Okay, make a medicine check.
I'll keep a trained eye up the stairs
All
at the
right.
ready.
17.
17. Okay, very good. So you can see that you take a quick look at him. I mean, obviously you have to sort of move and crane your head around because he's actively sort of writhing and moaning and gurgling. You can see that the bullet he took to the torso looks like it went clean through. So that's probably, it probably skipped off of a rib and exited sort of the back. But he did take a bullet directly to the neck.
Yeah.
And so there is quite a lot of blood pooling, through his fingers and down his, leather jacket and pooling on the very bottom of the steps. If he doesn't get medical attention immediately, he is not long for this world.
Okay. Going to up at Cullen. Can you knock him out real quick?
Sure. I put on my brass knuckles that I took from the teapots. I would like to punch him.
Go ahead. I mean, we don't. He's not going to fight back.
I'm just gonna punch him where he knock out.
Yeah. So
I'm going for like an upper chin hit.
So you crack him on the chin. He with a last kind of pathetic gurgle, he loses consciousness.
I'm gonna pull out a roll of duct tape. This will probably work. Slap it over the
Let me
wound.
start.
Here's the thing.
Let me start.
I have a +3 to medicine. I know what I'm doing. Colin's plugged up his own bullet holes already.
Just get some cloth under there before the duct tape.
Fair. Can somebody grab some cloth?
Take the moment to focus and last touch of life.
Okay.
Because I don't want him seeing this shit.
I mean, sure, it's spooky.
Load. PDF is loading. Please wait. This might be a moment. What's everybody else doing?
Nobody say anything. We're all waiting. Everybody wait silently.
Go. Hey, touch of life. You touch with 1 or more hit points regains 2 hit points.
All right.
Nice and simple.
So how many hit points are we talking about?
Just 2.
Just the 2. Okay.
Yep. Just focused on closing up that wound and stabilizing.
Okay, so you see that the blood flow starts to lessen, and the sort of gaping bullet hole in the neck has shrunk considerably and has managed to sort of like seal itself over. A bullet hole in the side is still an issue, but the most
duct tape on it.
The most critical wound has been taken care of, at least for now.
Roll for medicine with duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you a bit of room.
It's a 10.
Well, I mean, it isn't rocket surgery. You're able to, and then pop it right on there, and well, at least the blood flow is, contained.
Now it's internal.
Yeah.
Nice and clean.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah.
You can put some alcohol on it later.
Okay, so you've got a somewhat stabilized, at the very least, unconscious, bloody gentleman at the bottom of these stairs. What do you do now?
Should probably clean up the blood. I'll find some rags.
All right.
To roll perception or investigation, find rags, like sub with.
There's no need. You take a few steps around the back area. You take a look into the front of the of the antique store. They must not have a bathroom on the premises, so the likelihood of getting fresh water for the rags is non-existent. But there are the occasional, you can see sort of like drop cloths that were over a sort of a small chair or another piece of furniture that you could grab and use. It's a little big for your purposes, but still.
I mean, the more absorption, the better, and I can always just throw it out in the dumpster in the back alley afterwards.
Okay, you grab a couple of sort of these drop cloths, and get them at the ready.
Okay. Clean the blood up. Do you want me to roll for that, or?
Now, obviously, there are, as you sort of approach the scene and look at, the stairs and the very bottom landing and everything, you can see that you probably have enough material to soak up the blood that's collected at the bottom of the stairs. But the sort of the spray pattern along the wall and the actual bullet hole that is lodged in the wall from the side shot is still an issue in terms of cleaning up the scene.
I guess I'd like to look for something upstairs then.
Okay, you head back upstairs. You see the same sort of, printing company machinery that you'd seen before. There were a lot of sort of discarded crates and lots of rather large cartridges, so to speak, of ink and discarded massive rolls of paper. But other than that, there's not a lot at hand.
Is there
here.
any ink that's blood colored?
Give me a perception check. No, give me an investigation check. I'm sorry.
Investigation. Sweet. I have proficiency in that. Natural 20.
Okay. Well,
So total of 25.
25. Well, there is a kind of tepid maroon looking ink that's available just in the back. There's like one canister of it.
That's all I need.
But that's all you get.
All right. So what I would like to do is clean up the majority of the spilled blood with the drop cloth.
Yeah, you've done so with that.
Oh, okay. Then what I'm gonna do is it's obvious that it's already obvious that someone broke in here even when they come back. So what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna tell everyone to move, and I'm gonna chuck the maroon canister down the stairs.
Before he does that, I'm going to kind of reach out a hand and say, would it not be wiser to contact Detective Amano? He knew we were going to be here this evening, and it might be better to get ahead of this, rather than for them to find blood stains that they can't account for after they knew we were here.
We stopped a robbery in progress.
Not to mention, I'm sure they would like a live suspect.
That's fair. That's fair. I just put it back.
Any more messes we don't need to take care of?
You've definitely got a bit of history with you, KEERSE. You seem to really know what you're doing.
In terms of murdering people.
It's that's left unsaid that's important.
I'm just gonna be like, it was a few ideas, nothing more.
Sure.
Put it back. Did any of us check out the top floor?
Not yet, as far as I'm aware.
No, you guys were on the second floor and then went immediately down to the first.
All right, I am going to pull out my gun again, and I'm just gonna yell down that I'm gonna go check out the top floor.
Okay.
All right, we'll keep an eye on things down here.
Careful.
And then
he
I'm
was
going
trying to talk to a second person.
And I'm actually going to follow Cullen up with our suspect's gun in my left hand and my gun in my right hand.
Sure. Yeah.
Then I will wait till Reese gets closer to me, since I'm guessing I can hear him or them moving up.
Yeah.
So then I will then lead us up.
Okay, so the two of you make your way up the stairwell to then another sort of like it's this sort of like as I explained before, I believe this kind of rectangular hole that extends, the full length of the building, and the stairs just sort of are zigging up and down. So you make your way up to the third floor, and you find that the place is just completely empty. I mean, you've got sort of a support pillar or two, as you expected, but the place looks like there's a lot of sort of torn up carpeting and discarded like tools and things like that, as if somebody had, in the process of remodeling this particular floor, ran out of money or interest or time and then just sort of abandoned the place.
And is there further stairs that go up for what's potentially roof access? Or does it stop here?
It does stop here.
Is there a fire escape roof access? From what
you'd have to go back onto the fire escape, but...
Oh, is there not a fire escape entrance out the third floor?
No.
Oh.
That seems against code.
Well, some of these buildings are definitely not up to code.
Yeah. All right, then I'm gonna turn to Reese. I'm gonna go see if there's any fire escape leading up to the roof.
Sure.
I guess I'll go down and do that.
So you go back down to the second floor. You make your way back through the door from before, And you can see that there is ladder access to the roof.
I'm gonna yell in, telling them that I'm gonna check out the roof. I found a ladder and go up.
Okay, you climb your way up. You can see that once you hit roof access, excuse me, you can see that there is what looks like a leather satchel resting against one of those sort of metal plumed ventilation units at the very top of the roof, but otherwise the place is bare.
I'm going to check out the satchel.
Inside, you find what looks like a snub-nosed 45. You see a series of sort of picks and files that look like the kind of file and rake kind of system that you would use to pick a lock, and some other various other kind of jimmying tools, I guess would be the best way of describing that. And other sort of bits and pieces, matches, and what looks like completely utilitarian stuff that you would need to, use to, say, see in the dark, or to, carry things, or to make your footsteps silent, and et cetera, et cetera.
Breaking into an antique shop.
Well, yes, there is the break into an antique shop gun inside there as well.
Speculation.
That is true. Hey, that's profiling.
Allegedly.
Is there any Ross. Is there any is this roof I'm guessing it's just a flat top roof in a city.
Mm-hmm.
Is it one of those that extends to the others? Can I see across other roofs? Is there anybody that I could notice?
Yeah, you can see. You can turn to the right and to the left and see basically. Obviously the buildings are of variable heights, but you can take a look at the roofs and access, and there's no. It's completely blank out here, dark.
All right, I'm going to snag the bag and head down and show them what I found.
Okay.
And I'll head back down by this point, probably too.
Okay, sounds good. So you're all back down and on the first floor in the back room of Hamakar Antiques. You've got the poor, unconscious, largely empty of blood assailant, and you've still got the random discarded crowbar near the circular table that houses the supports the lamp. And so far, even with those 2 gunshots, there doesn't appear to be anybody, disturbing the store or, rapidly approaching you. You don't hear sirens, for instance.
Good job, Amano.
Speaking of Amano, it might be time for... I do not know the number of said building. Perhaps, PLUM, you might want to give them a call and inform them that we have stopped what appears to be a break-in.
Can't you just call 911?
I'm afraid that that's not in my programming, but if that's how it works, then I suppose I can do that.
No,
That's one way to do it.
No, we'd want to directly call Amano's desk.
Well, he might not have made it back to his desk yet. That's the problem. How long has it been since our meeting with...
the dead of night.
Yeah, I could have sworn we did a stakeout for it. Well, maybe we didn't. It's been 2.
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure we staked this place out.
Well, if you remember correctly, there was... did you guys respond immediately to the blue light that flashed onto the street?
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, because
we did.
I thought that was pretty soon after we talked with the detective.
Yeah, it's as we were walking back.
Yeah. So it's entirely possible that Detective Amano is still he's keeping on trucking, towards his apartment, or his dumpster or wherever he lives.
Well, if you give the boys in blue a call, we're going to need to figure out how to get this lamp out of here before they get here.
Can you
Better
at least
not.
try to call dispatch?
Yeah. Better not have anybody else poking around here for absconding with property.
Stealing.
Do you mean theft?
Yeah, stealing by theft. Yeah, we're all aware of how that works.
Stealing via theft.
We can use the sack I found.
That's not a bad idea.
That we have already encountered, given that we've already encountered one armed assailant this evening, it might be wise for us not to move around in smaller than group 2. So if Plum is leaving to go call dispatch, one of us should probably go with him.
I should not go.
Probably not.
I'd rather be
Oh,
close to
Amano is-
the artifact we've got here.
Well, if
And
you're going
Amano
to
is
sneak
already
off with
familiar with me as
artifacts,
well.
Hmm?
Just saying that Amano is already familiar with me as well, so, and at least in this guise. So I could probably go with. We at least appear somewhat formal.
Okay,
And,
sounds like Plum and Reese.
And while you do that, we will drive the lamp back to the bureau.
Hopefully.
careful with it.
Yeah.
I give Ada.
And are we just
the
going to
sack.
leave Are we just going to leave the suspect here?
Oh, he's fine.
In a handcuff, probably.
Probably not best to move him too much. That looks like a pretty nasty shot.
Thanks.
He also fell down the stairs.
Grimacing smile.
And this time he wasn't pushed down the stairs.
Yes, let's not forget
Typical
the physical
cop
trauma
fashion.
of falling down the stairs.
He deserved it.
It was halfway, but still.
He was gonna shoot you. So I shot him first.
I appreciate not
You
getting
have
shot,
handcuffs.
but
They'll quote this in a movie someday. Just you wait.
So Plum, are you cuffing this this suspect?
Yeah, I'll cuff him.
Are you doing it to the wrists, behind the back? Are you cuffing him to the stair railing? Like how does this work?
Oh, okay. I'll probably do like the just behind the back. I don't know if I want to put like around the stair railing or not, but
Okay, so you
probably is not going to move anyways.
You get his wrists behind him and just do cuffs there. Okay.
And I'm going to take some duct tape and just wrap his legs up real good.
Okay.
Just like wrap his ankles together with duct tape.
Sure. Sounds good.
Gladly hand Reese the roll of duct tape.
Oh yeah.
I only have 5 of my own.
Oh, I didn't know you had 5. You're worse than
Just
me.
industrial size.
What kind of amateur do you take him for?
I mean, I have no starting money. I only have equipment.
I've got $15.
Got some quarters.
Okay.
But yes.
So Plum, you and Reese make your way towards the front of the store. You pretty clearly see a landline there on the sales counter.
Okay.
So you could call from inside the house, or you can simply, go to a nearby phone booth.
Payphone.
Yeah.
I'll probably do it from the store's phone.
Okay. So you
Calling
pick up the
like the extension for dispatch
okay.
rather than like 911.
Couple of dialed digits later. New York Police Department.
Hello, this is former agent Plum. I'd like to report a theft. There was shots fired, 1 suspect missing, 1 apprehended in this storefront. I don't remember what the name of the store was.
Marker's Antiques.
What's the address, sir?
Just a sec. Well, what's the address? Look outside.
Somebody go check.
Is the address?
I know he gave it to us, but I didn't have time to write it down
That's
with all the other information we were given.
Mr. Perfect Memory.
actually, you know, it's very reasonable that Reese would just know the address. So it's 36 East 12th Street in Greenwich Village. So you rattle that off to the dispatcher. We'll have a car coming by in a few minutes. Please stay where you are, and if it is safe to do so, and make sure to allow the officers on scene, and they'll want to take a statement from you.
Thank you.
The click of an ended call.
Yo, we're not really staying around here, are we? Let's get the fuck out of here.
Reese and I can stay.
All right.
But you two should likely get the lamp out of here.
Yeah, that's going to be the interesting part. If we can avoid touching it, maybe somebody can just push it in with the crowbar.
Just put the bag over it and just...
I'll grab the crowbar and just kind of like push it towards the edge to knock it into the bag that Cullen has out.
Yeah. So you're scooting it, and it topples over and falls into the bag with a flump.
I just close it.
My favorite D&D monster.
Yeah, there's a flump in there. Yeah.
It's my new pet. It's my new best friend.
Yeah.
And
well,
I just...
animal handling?
Nobody has that. Nobody has that skill.
I'm gonna say it's survival 11 for flump. Anyway, after I get the bag, I'm just gonna immediately go up the stairs to the fire escape and go out the back.
Okay.
Right behind.
All right. So Reese and Plum, you have decided to stay and await the police.
Yeah, I'll wait out front outside the shop.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go over and unlock the front door.
Okay. Sounds good. So the two of you...
Go ahead.
So the two of you lock door, open that, you wait outside the storefront.
Well, I'm going to let him wait outside. I'm going to wait with the suspect.
Okay.
Just to make sure he doesn't bleed out and or try to run away.
Sure. Maybe both. Sounds good.
Duct tape, you're fine.
Anyway, Stephen, you were saying?
Oh, I'm just going to talk to Reese real quick. Plum sticking around makes sense. He's former police. The more people we have tied up in this, the more likelihood there's going to be difficult to explain connections. If you think you can pull it off, go for it. But my understanding was we should try to avoid flashing badges as much as possible.
The issue is Detective Amano already knows that I was supposed to be here this evening. If I am not here, then that will also create red flags.
Potentially, but you deal with a big enough organization, suits just cycle through.
Well, let's put it up to the group. What do we all think?
Well, Cullen has already gone.
Yeah, looking up the stairs.
I'm honestly not sure I want Cullen's opinion when it comes to law enforcement.
All right, fair.
No.
I think this is the perfect time to ask him, to be honest.
Look, my opinion about the law enforcement is the bomb.
Let me just what's the button to stop?
Where's the stop?
I'm sorry. I'm looking for the button to kick him.
Ticket.
All right. No. I'll have to deal with it later.
Just universal mute, you know.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah. Just put a black square on that part of the screen. Yeah.
I dig it.
But what do you think, Plum?
It shouldn't really matter too much, I don't think. If you're here, you're here. The detective's already seen you. But if you're not, I can probably handle it.
I feel it will be safer if I am here, just in case more armed assailants.
You did want to go in pairs.
Well, either way, this will be a learning experience for us. And then head up the stairs and try to follow Colin.
Okay. So the two of you, Ada and Cullen, you guys are now on the ground outside of the rear of Hamakar Antiques, off the fire escape. And Plum, you're waiting outside, just in front of the actual storefront. In about 5 minutes' time, a squad car with lights going but sirens not on rolls up, and two uniformed officers get out. One of them crosses the street to approach you.
Oh,
You're a Plum, is that right?
yes. I forgot I should have called for an ambulance, but hopefully the suspect is fine.
God damn it! You gotta listen. Jerry is gonna take a look at your, credentials, so to speak. He's gonna take a statement and everything like that. If you'll just stay here, I'm gonna go inside, check the place out.
Be my guest.
Opens the door, goes inside. Reese, you see a uniformed officer come. Does not have his gun drawn, but he's got sort of, he's got hand at the ready, right?
And when I hear the door open, I'm just going to kind of call out, "Back here, officer. This is where the suspect is. Just keeping an eye on him."
Oh, yeah, there you are. Oh, Jesus Christ. What happened here?
Well, as we informed Detective Amano, we were coming in here. We work for a bureau, and we were going to come into here and check on a missing persons case that is also open in your department, but has also caught the attention of our agency. And when we were in here, this man came down the stairs holding a gun, asking about what potentially was his partner, and he made ready to fire, and so we disabled him.
Okay. Listen, buddy. I don't know any Amano, would you call him?
Yes.
I'm not familiar with the guy. No, look, I don't personally know everybody in the department, but your story is it doesn't hold a lot of water with me, but it's very clear that you don't seem armed, and everything seems to be controlled here. So I'm gonna just escort you outside to the front. We're gonna leave this gentleman here, and we're gonna chat about this out on the street, if that's all right with you.
As you wish, officer.
Great. He sort of gently kind of grabs you by the forearm and starts leading you outside.
Mm-hmm. I go willingly. No issues given.
Meanwhile, outside, Jerry is attempting to, gather Plum's details. So what, do you remember your badge number?
Spout it off, because I would have that memorized pretty easy.
Uh-huh. Okay. Obviously, I'm going to have to call
It's
Janice.
not easy being blue.
Well, obviously, I'm going to have to call Janice and get that run through the system. What are you doing here anyway?
We're investigating a case, and we're doing it while the owner was away so as not to disturb the business. And the assailant came down the stairs holding the gun. Before they got their shots off, managed to get ours off.
Look, Plum, maybe it's above my pay grade, but if you're not with the force anymore, Why are you investigating?
Separate case. We have
For-
some interest.
For whom?
The missing person, the owner of the establishment.
No, like who's
Oh.
paying? Who's footing the bill? The dentist's office? Like what are you?
Federal Bureau of, what is it, FBC control.
The what now?
It's one of those alphabet investigation teams. Don't need to think about it too hard.
Okay. Door jingles open. You see Reese being escorted outside by the first uniformed officer. Yeah, all right. If you'll just pop a squat near your friend here. All right. So it looks like we're gonna have to get in contact with the station, get this Amano on the phone. Jerry, you ever heard of a fucking Detective Amano? That doesn't ring a bell. I didn't think so. Yeah. Anyway, Jerry here is gonna keep an eye on you two. I'm gonna head over to the car, radio in, and talk to them about this Amano business, and see if your story checks out. In the meantime, don't make any sudden movements. Keep your hands away from your waists. You know, traditional, don't provoke the cop shit. Got it? Jerry, you got this? Yeah. Okay. Great. I want to be over here. So you see him sort of jog over very lightly over to the window of the squad car, reach in, get the radio receiver.
Radio.
So Jerry is sort of there just outside, kind of just looking at you two again, with a hand on the holster, but nothing sort of, immediately going on. So Cullen and Ada, you guys are coming around the side of the building. You have to kind of make your way around the block, remember, because there's a contiguous kind of section here. And sure enough, when you round the corner, you can see a uniformed officer kind of standing in front of guarding Reese and Plum.
Did it take 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask, because we left right as they got off the phone.
Sorry, where were you going?
Like right off the phone? Would the cops have already been there by the time we round the block? Because it said it was going to take like 5 minutes.
Okay, I didn't know what you were, whether you were staying around or not.
Oh no, we were just going to hop in the car and drive the lamp to the bureau.
Okay.
Yep. Taxi service still runs, right?
Got it. Okay.
I've got the car.
Oh no, for them.
Oh yeah.
So you two made your way around, and this was before the squad car showed up. Got in your car and began the sort of 30-minute drive back into the heart of the city so that you could head to the oldest house. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, with Jerry sort of staring awkwardly at the two of you, Reese and Plum, the original uniformed officer comes back. Right. Now, have either of you been drinking this evening? That's not a rhetorical question.
No.
No, I don't drink on duty.
Any, any drugs?
I
Just
can't
some
say I've ever had the
caffeine.
pleasure.
Don't get cute. Well, I just radioed in to the department, talked with our a senior officer, asked him about this Detective Amano and his involvement with the great antique store stakeout of 1968. And apparently, he'd never heard of the fella before. And we both thought that was strange. So he went in and made some calls. Turns out, at least as far as we can see in our records, there is no Detective Amano. So your story's full of holes.
Then you can call the detective in the arson department. Can't remember the friend's name. Because we had asked about Detective Amano just earlier this evening.
Gonna have to be a little more specific than that.
The out of character that I had called the one detective I had called.
Your friend, Dante.
Yes. Dante,
Yes.
there we go. I was going to call him Bishop.
And promised him a bottle of whiskey.
Okay, so you give out the number. Fucking. All right, hang on a second. Jerry, they make any sudden movements, you plug them. You know, I mean, we don't. We got some of that stuff. We got some of that stuff in the car. You know, like who, who are they gonna believe?
I'm going to initiate annoyedboredom.exe.
Sure, yeah. You hear a very, very, very faint, barely audible boom noise as the program starts. So another sort of awkward period passes by, and the uniformed officer comes back from the car. Okay, so we've gotten somewhere. This Dante guy exists. That much we know. He is. I mean, we weren't able to sort of settle things over the radio and over the phone, so we called him in. He was very upset to be awoken at this hour, but he's on his way to see if he can confirm your story. And until then, we're just going to have a little kumbaya. Meanwhile, at the oldest house, so Ada and Cullen, you guys pull up outside of the massive brutalist edifice of the oldest house. Sure enough, you exit the car. You've got the sack with the lamp inside in tow, and you make your way inside. What now?
We should probably take this down to research.
Yeah.
What?
I was just saying, do you remember how to get to the research wing?
Main elevator, usually.
I'll follow you.
All right.
Okay, so you head down to you snake through the metal detectors and carpeted hallways, get to the elevator, and make your way to the research department. So the place is pretty it's pretty light on activity. It seems like at this hour most of the agents have gone home or taken some kind of extended break or something like that, because it seems like there's just a skeleton crew walking around, very different from the sort of busy bureaucracy that you saw earlier today. So you make your way into research. Are you heading back, Ada, to the area where you had the blood work done by Dr. Sweet?
I mean, I feel like I'd probably head towards Dr. Sweet just because I know her better than anybody else.
Okay.
And I'm not actually sure about their process for bringing in artifacts.
Okay. Yes.
I need to use the restroom real quick. Do you switch
No.
back to? Oh,
Not allowed.
Go ahead. Go ahead. So, you guys make your way again to the research department. You're, popping your head into various rooms and conference areas and things like that, trying to find, anyone in authority that you can talk to about this artifact. Meanwhile, your Detective Plum's, Agent Plum's, I should say, friend Dante arrives in a civilian car, right? Pulls up behind the squad car, gets out. It's very clear that his shirt is slightly untucked, so it looks like he got dressed in a hurry. And he makes his way over. This had better be good, Plum. What the fuck am I doing out here at this time of night?
Stopped a robbery in progress.
Hey, want a goddamn medal? Why am I here?
I already got one.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, like we don't hear enough about your stupid medal.
Well, these two fine officers were just telling me that the detective you were informing me about doesn't exist.
What are you talking about?
They insist Detective Porter Amano, who I spoke to earlier this afternoon, and who you informed Agent Plum of over the phone, does not exist and is not working a missing persons case involving Hamaker's Antiques. They insist upon it.
Wait a minute. Plum, we haven't had a conversation for like, what, a year? And you call me out of here with these guys out of the blue, come down to this fucking antique store in the middle of the night. What the hell's going on?
Do you forget the bottle of whiskey I owe you?
If you owed me a bottle of whiskey, I think I would have remembered.
You're not prone to forget a bottle of whiskey.
No.
Well, officers, are we done here?
Oh shit.
You see Jerry kind of look at the other uniformed officer and look at Dante. No? Dante just sort of like takes his hand and sort of, traces his hand across his forehead and his hair. Listen, Plum, you're going to have to start making sense real fast. You claim, from what I'm gathering out of your ravings, that you called me today. Earlier today.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And you spoke to me about a detective, Amano, and promised me some whiskey, apparently. That's the long and the short of it, right?
I'd never lie to you. I was pretty sure it happened.
Have you been drinking, Plum?
No. I kind of just like throw up my hands. Well, this case is fairly odd.
Plum. Al, I haven't spoken to you since my sister's wedding a year ago. So I don't know what you're getting at.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yes, Ross.
Are there any newspaper dispensers anywhere within vision?
Yeah.
Would I be able to, from where I'm sitting, see what the date on that newspaper is?
From this part of the sidewalk, no, because it faces the street, right? So you'd have to actually sort of make your way around.
Okay.
But
I will keep that.
There is a dispenser for, the New York Post and the Times and that sort of thing. You see Dante again with a sort of a look of exasperation. Look, boys, I can vouch for Plum. I've known him for a long time. He's an upstanding officer. Was an officer, still upstanding. You get what I'm saying.
Thank you.
Let me handle this. You guys go back to the station, take care of your stuff, get back on the beat, whatever you got to do. And if the commish gives you a hard time, tell him to take it up with me, right? So the two uniformed officers are just like, they kind of shrug and make their way back to the squad car. And Dante sort of, looks at the two of you. Come on, get up. Yeah, come on. At ease.
I'm gonna stand up, and may I reach behind my back quickly? I have the assailant's weapon, and I want to hand it to you for evidence.
Slowly, yeah.
And I will very slowly take it out. No fingers nowhere near the trigger, and just kind of hand it out to him.
He goes inside his pocket and brings out, but basically an old handkerchief. Sort of grabs it by the slide. Yeah. All right.
Evidence control? What is that? In the 70s?
I don't have fingerprints, so I'm not worried about it.
Or if you do, it's just like it's a serial number, and then it says, 5
lines.
12 volt, accepted. So, yeah, you see, he takes that and sort of pockets it, shoves it in there. So I heard the gist, Plum, from before we get on with this, go any further. Who the fuck is this?
This is Agent Reese, my
Agent
partner.
Reese Polichki. Nice to meet you, Dante.
Likewise, I guess. What department are you with?
Show him my
Federal
badge.
Bureau of Control.
So he takes a look at the Federal Bureau of Control badge that Plum you handed. Takes a look at this. What's this? What's this cutting edge bullshit that you're in, Plum? You get off the force. I entirely expect you to live the rest of your life, betting on horse races and watching reruns of Gunsmoke, and then apparently you're in the Federal Bureau of Control, which I've literally never heard of.
People won't.
Okay.
I'm going to kind of make an exasperated noise, like shake my head a little bit, and then kind of feign kind of pacing exasperatedly and try to get around to see the newspaper stand and see if I can figure out the date and make sure it is indeed Saturday, September 7th, 1968.
Hey, you don't go too far. I'm watching you.
I'm only walking to the curb.
Plum.
And frankly, we're doing you a favor catching this assailant and making it your bust. This is far below our pay grade.
It's not like they pay us very much, though.
Is this guy giving me fucking lip?
Yeah, just a little.
This is on your ass, Plum. You understand that? So,
yep.
Reese, you make your way into a round and you get a good vantage point. You're able to see sort of the framed, in the sort of glass, the current newspaper. It reads September 7th, 1968.
Okay, good. And then I'll just kind of make a lap around there and come back as they talk.
Dante puts his hand, kind of on your shoulder, Plum, and sort of leans in a little bit in a kind of more private and less conspiratorial way.
Yeah.
And he says, look, I don't know what's going on, but I'm with you, okay? Like, I'm not here to bust your balls or anything. Just level with me. Tell me what's going on here.
We investigate strange stuff, and
No.
the owner, he disappeared. We don't know how. We don't think he just ran off, and just strange things start to happen. So I don't know if I did call you or not, but what we do in the Federal Bureau of Control, It's not like normal investigations.
We're gonna have to kill
Strange
Bill.
things.
Oh, okay. You see him he takes a couple steps back and takes a look at the awning and the signage and everything. He takes a look at the flowing script on the glass that says Hamaker Antiques. Okay, yeah, all right. This is actually ringing a bell. Yeah, this the owner. He wasn't seen for a few days. His daughter comes in and calls about a missing person. Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah, they were talking about that at the precinct. All right. Well, at least that checks out. You're not completely off your rocker.
So when we try to investigate it further, the assailant comes in. He pulled a gun on us, so we took him down.
The assailant is where the fuck is the assailant?
He's
In the
still
back
inside where
stairwell.
the cops take him.
Still inside.
Did nobody grab?
I was sitting with the body, with his unconscious form, when your uniformed officer dragged me out by my forearm.
Just kind of like open up the storefront, see if he's still inside.
Stay here. He goes inside and sort of peeks around, and he takes you can see him sort of craning his neck, trying to look into the darkness and see.
Careful, that might be a second.
Okay, that looks like a leg, but I'm not a fucking meerkat or whatever. I can't see in the dark. Is that right? Meerkats? Ah, fuck it. So this guy comes on you with a gun, and you're forced to, take him out. That's what you're getting at.
He was looking for his partner.
Okay.
And we did not know where his partner was. I approached him with a placating hand, and I told him that whoever he was looking for was not there, and we just wanted to speak calmly, at which point he said, "Well, then I guess I don't need you anymore," and raised his gun at me.
Yeah, it seems pretty cut and dry. Okay.
We just don't know what he was here for, if he has any connection to the missing person.
Okay, look, God damn it.
There are some shards of broken glass near a table back there. I'm wondering if the partner may have grabbed what they were both after and run off, abandoning him. These
It's
double crosses happen all the time.
probably just a B&E, somebody came in, tried to grab some stuff, and, things got a little complicated. It's, God,
Unlucky night if it was just a break-in enter.
God damn it, Plum. Okay. Look. You, and it points at both of you, Reese and Plum. You're going to leave right now, okay? You're going to go home, go to a bar. I don't give a shit where you go. You're going to get out of here. I'm going to take care of this business right here. Write up a report, bust my ass, especially considering that this isn't even my department. I don't know if you remember, Plum. I'm in arson, for fuck's sake. Get this taken care of. And tomorrow, 11 o'clock in the morning, you're going to come by the precinct. We're going to take a statement from you, an official statement, okay, with, somebody competent at the reins. And you're going to bring me a bottle of Crown Royal.
I'll make that too.
Good.
For the one I promised earlier.
Sure. Fine. because I'm going to have to bust my ass and clean things up after you. And this is, let me be clear, the last time I'm doing this. You've been a little sloppy before. Normally that hasn't been a problem. You're a good cop. You got results. But this stinks to high heaven, okay? And anybody else takes a look at this, they're going to see that too. And they're not going to be as favorably inclined towards you as I am. Huh? Now get out of here.
Let's go. See you tomorrow, Dante.
Yeah, you fucking better. Meanwhile, at the oldest house, popping your heads in, making your way across the, through the halls, you finally find in what looks like a small sort of break room, with a coffee maker and everything like that. A couple of, those plastic injection molded kind of 60s, fruit colored chairs, You see inside a visibly tired Dr. Sweet enjoying a nice cup of coffee.
Hi, Doc.
Oh, God. Oh, hello. What are you doing here?
We've gotten
We
altered.
we just made our way back. We got the lamp. We were sent out to look for a lamp.
She very delicately puts the coffee mug down and then begins sort of approaching you cautiously. She's kind of like half slumped over and is like making her way towards you as if she's approaching the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, now, all right. What I want you to do is transfer the object to me very slowly. Okay, can you do that? All right, now you hold it out and... Yes, thank you. And she takes it and sort of clutches it towards her. All right. Now, I know that the two of you are quite new to the Bureau's operation, but one of our chief most safety measures is not to bring altered items into the fucking break room. So, let's head to a controlled environment and take care of this, shall we? Now? Yes?
Sorry, there might be a person inside it.
I'm sorry?
There might be a
Potentially
person
two?
inside it. Perhaps
Well-
two.
Well, we'll cross that dimensional bridge when we get to it, yes?
Sorry.
So the three of you make your way. It looks like now Dr. Sweet is sort of leading the charge and makes her way back to the parapsychology department, the same room that Ada, you had, that blood work done in earlier. She takes a seat in one of the injection molded chairs and very delicately sets the lamp on a nearby desk and begins sort of very slowly kind of unfolding the leather satchel sides to expose this thing. I see. Before we begin an in-depth scientific investigation, did either of you touch this thing?
No.
Not me.
Did either of you interact with it physically in any manner? Did you smell the item? Did you taste the item? Any sort of physical interaction?
Closest was pushing it with a crowbar.
Okay, so with a condom, thank the gods. All right. So, and you didn't experience any unusual phenomena when you did so?
Not at the time, no. I've been keeping myself apprised of my own situation.
Yes. All right. Well, it's a lamp. That much I know. Or at least it's supposed to be. Where Where's the wiring? There's usually a cord for these things.
It's missing a switch as well. Yeah.
That's why we thought it might have been altered.
She sort of cranes her neck in. No, you're very right. There's no switch there either. Very peculiar. What was the situation in which you found this altered item? Describe the location and the environs and the state of those environs, if you would, please.
It was sitting on a lamp by itself in the back of an antique shop. We found after a flash of blue light came from it. And
blue light, robin's egg blue, a sort of royal blue. What kind of blue are we talking about?
What kind of blue are we talking about?
I've got eidetic memory, so...
Well, if you have eidetic memory, you remember which one it is.
Yeah.
It was a kind of like... a sky blue, something a little richer than robin's egg, but not...
Like a cyan?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good way of looking at it, yeah.
It was a little bit more cyan colored?
Cyan.
Warmer, yes.
You see Dr. Sweet sort of reclines in the chair.
There's a shattered light bulb on the ground as well, where you can see there's a point under the fixture and filament still in it.
What? Why the bloody hell didn't you lead with that? Hold on a second. You see her begin to sort of rummage about the place, opening drawers and cabinets and everything. And she eventually produces a single standard issue light bulb.
I'm just going to say, oh, shite.
Well, now, perhaps this is my seniority in this position talking, but it seems to me that if you had found this lamp near... you described a table at the back end of this antiques merchant, and there is a missing component of this lamp. Well, adding components would seem to create either some sort of trigger, or at least make the item more whole, thereby increasing the likelihood of manifesting these paranormal, whatever you want to call it, activities. The logic is sound, yes?
It makes sense. The oddity I've been...
That was a rhetorical question, I'm sorry. I wasn't actually asking you.
Yes, but why would somebody breaking and entering replace a light bulb?
Well, stranger things have happened. Some altered items do emit a sort of a low-level hypnotic suggestion effect, if you will. Those who are more susceptible to those sorts of things, even your garden variety party hypnotist or some kind of more lax form of regressive hypnotic therapy, that sort of thing, they may very well be affected by the item, and then that may cause them to behave in a way that is completely antithetical to their normal behavior.
Fascinating.
This is all just conjecture, of course. We won't know until we pop this bad boy in. Yes.
I suppose so.
Now, there is you'll see back there. You'll see the large 3-paneled a wall unit there. If the two of you will please scoot yourselves there behind the wall and stay there until I command you to come out. Is that clear?
I'm already running over there.
Yes, right. Ada, if you would please.
Sure. Sorry about being snippy earlier about the blood work. I just needed to get... I'll be going. Head behind the panels.
It's no problem. I wouldn't enjoy being poked either, yes? Now then, let's see here. Right.
Cullen
She-
is totally gonna peek.
Oh yeah.
just.
She sort of calls out over her shoulder. Now, no matter what you may see or hear in the periphery while you are behind the lead-lined wall there, it is important that you at no point, under no circumstances, leave the wall, extract yourself from behind it, or make any sort of noise. We have seen that certain constructive and destructive interference of sound waves have managed to amplify some of the paranormal activity, which would be bad for all of us involved. Yes? So, fingers on lips. Yes? And so you see very delicately with the precision and the delicacy of somebody replacing a plutonium rod in a nuclear reactor, right? Very slowly takes the bulb underneath the sort of stained glass lamp hood, so to speak, the shade, begins to screw it into the base. So are you guys actually peeking around the wall,
yeah.
looking at this, directly looking at it? Okay.
Hardcore.
All right.
A glass
Okay.
screen? Or...
Very unsafe. No, it's like a
Yes.
imagine a the kind of Asian style privacy wall that you would don a robe or something behind, but instead it looks a lot more sort of industrial looking, and it's very clearly heavier and thicker. It's it gives the appearance of one of those sort of room dividers by way of
just one of those
the Pentagon
big shielding.
Yeah,
I'm totally gonna put on a pair of sunglasses quick.
Because I've seen those, and they sometimes also have lead glass.
There's
so
there's no glass in this one. It's completely solid and opaque. So, last squeak. There's a brilliant flash of cyan light. And then there's a moment of silence. Then you hear from the same, and you guys are still watching, right? You see emitting from the very top, the very tip top of the lamp, is this cloudy sort of bluish gas, sort of billowing up out of the top of the lamp. And you can see that this gas begins to sort of widen and form, a proper sort of cloud. It's kind of viscous in the sense that this isn't sort of water vapor or anything. It's more like sort of coagulated smoke, right? And it begins to form the shape of what looks like a man, a balding man, from what you can tell, as the sort of details and features start to fill in. Probably between 40 or 50 years old, sort of proper middle age. You can see that the image of him is sort of wearing this patchy suit coat, a kind of rough looking suit coat that you can see the various sort of leather patches and things have been used to repair sort of the wearing on the elbows and that sort of thing. And you see this figure is also clutching, also made out of the same cloudy blue smoke, a full cigar that's apparently lit. And you see this figure sort of crane and stretch his neck, sort of moving about, trying to get himself in a comfortable position. And again, he is basically spawning out of this cloudy blue gas. It's as if that there's a proper section of him, torso up, and then the rest of it sort of dissolves and sort of devolves, I should say, into this cloudy, wispy gas that's coming out of the top of the lamp. And he takes, you presume it's a he takes a big, I was going to say
Drag.
swig. I was going to say swig, but that's not what you do with cigars.
Drag.
That's disgusting. A drag, thank you. Yeah. He eats the cigar. No.
I mean, some people do that.
He takes a long drag of the cigar and says, you hear in a kind of a distant voice, right? Something that sounds hollow and echoey. What can I offer you this fine evening? There's another moment of silence.
Trying to see is Dr. Sweet still there?
Dr. Sweet, you can see, is still there. She's staring directly at this figure, this very vaguely corporeal figure. And she begins sort of very slowly moving the injection molded chair, which is not on wheels, back across the floor. And sort of, she gets up.
Talk about audio.
Very delicately, like very carefully. She hasn't turned her back. She's still looking at the thing, and she's beginning to walk backwards towards the wall divider. She then, makes the couple of paces back across the room and then ducks in behind the wall divider.
I'm just like there to meet her eye to eye the moment she turns to look at us.
Right in front of her face.
Yeah.
Same.
Okay. We're in sort of uncharted territory at the moment. It appears that after inserting the light bulb in the proper traditional lamp fashion, if you will, a sort of... You were watching the whole time, weren't you?
A man came out of it.
A djinn. It looks like a djinn.
First of all, don't ever do that again without proper safety equipment equipped to all of the... It's not only that. You must protect every orifice your body has. And I cannot stress that enough. All right. Now then. That entity, whatever it may be, appears to be sentient. It appears to be interactive. And I suspect that whatever we may respond to its initial query with, that may affect, if my instinct is proper, the nature of the paranormal activity that happens. Do you understand? So it's very, very important that whatever we say to this spectre, figure, spirit, that it is very carefully considered. Yes?
At
Good.
that point in time, Cullen is going to start to step out.
I'm to make the free Ireland.
Wait. That's what she like grabs your sleeve and like tries to pull you back behind the wall. What are you doing?
I'm going to ask it what it is.
No. We haven't discussed yet what the first question is going to be. This is a team effort. That's how science works.
We should figure out what it is for science.
You're right. But we shouldn't simply ask it what it is, because, of course, it can lie. Did that ever occur to you?
We're
What
not
if
gonna
we-
figure out what it is any other way, are we? Obviously,
We
I'm
can
not going
make
to trust it.
inferences. What if we ask if it's interacted with Daniel Hamaker before?
That's the missing fellow from Mr. Sangvi's case for you.
Yes. It puts us on positive footing. We're looking for somebody else. We're not self-centered. We're not curious about it.
Actually, no. It puts you on negative footing. It puts your foot in a ravine that is then rapidly filling with lava or something. It's the exact opposite of positive footing. Because you are. You work here for longer than 6 weeks, and then you tell me what being dramatic is like. It could be something as simple as the right tone of voice, the language that's used, the particularity of the nouns and the verbiage. Anything could set this thing off, and we don't know what its effects are.
Then what do you recommend?
I don't know yet. I'm trying to think of that.
I'm going to lock eyes with Cullen and just give kind of that short little nod.
I'm just going to go out then.
No, wait, no! Okay, so you stride out.
Hello. How you doing? Yeah, quick question. Who are you? I'd like to get to know.
He takes a drag of the cigar again. What can I offer you this fine evening?
What can you offer me?
Gonna peek out from behind the curtain. Ask about Hamaker.
Very quickly, a hand on your shoulder, Ada. Get back here.
I'd like to know about Mr. Hamaker.
Takes another drag of the cigar. Done. And you see that the figure begins to, the detail begins to wick away. It begins to, again, sort of devolve into a cloudy, bluish kind of smoke, which then very rapidly begins to sort of disappear into the top of the lamp again. And suddenly, Cullen, you feel a sharp pain in your head. Like a really bad ice cream headache, right?
Ooh, what's even worse?
Yeah, it's bad.
Add brain freeze.
And your mind is flooded.
Oh, shit.
Your mind is flooded
Oh, I suck.
with the entire lifetime of Daniel Hamaker. like a biopic being sped up at like 30 times speed. You see Daniel Hamaker's early days in his home with his parents. You see his complicated teenage years. You see his time at college. Like, you get the experience of having lived through all of that in the span of a matter of seconds.
Full sensory?
Yeah, full sensory stuff.
Did he fight in World War II?
Yeah.
Shit.
So
I mean,
after about
also an antiquer.
So after about 30 or 40 seconds of just this incredible pain in your head and this massive flood of all kinds of sensory input, there's a quick, suddenly it stops. And you realize that as you're sort of blinking and you're kind of trying to clear your head, trying to come to get a grip, you realize that you basically now have the knowledge of two people. You've got Cullen's knowledge, Cullen's memories, and you also, all of a sudden, know all of what Daniel Hamaker knew.
It's identity crisis right there.
So what happened to Daniel Hamaker?
So, you attempt to probe your memory, right? Or rather, Daniel's memory. You see, you manage to sort of scrub through to the most recent memory. You find that a very haggard, tired-looking Daniel Hamaker is So he is in the same exact spot that you guys were earlier tonight, in the back room near the sort of rounded table. You can see Hamaker sort of with a dusting cloth and everything, beginning to clean up this lamp, beginning to sort of give it some TLC, clearly as a means to sort of, present it for sale later, right? You see him sort of look around and take a look at the stem work and the stained glass and everything like that. There's some polishing going on and everything. And as soon as that's done, you see him break off, you're obviously seeing this through his eyes, of course. You see him break off, grab a light bulb, and then screw it into the top, and you can hear him sort of muttering, come on, please let this work. You see him, screw the light bulb in, and then there's a blinding flash of cyan light. You see this same sort of cloudy blue smoke materialize into this same sort of balding middle-aged figure that you saw before. He takes a drag and says, "What can I offer you this fine evening?" And with, a sort of a full body sigh, Daniel Hamaker takes a moment. I don't suppose you got a vacation in there. And Daniel's vision, I should say, goes black. And that's the end of the memory.
I'm just gonna yell out, Hanukkah's on vacation! And just kind of fall over.
You see running out.
Dr. Sweet also makes her way around the... She grabs a hold of you and begins sort of like doing sort of traditional checks, pulse, breathing, and everything like that.
I imagine like my pulse is through the roof right now.
Mr. Keerse, would you lock eyes with me? Yes, can you see? How many fingers am I holding up?
You're holding up 2.
Very good. Excellent. Are you feeling unusual in any capacity?
I just experienced Hamaker's entire life.
Exchange glances with Dr.
I know
Sweet.
what it's like to face cannon fighter.
Dr. Sweet looks at you, Ada, matching your glance. This is why we discuss what the scientific method is.
Anyway, Hamaker wanted the vacation. I think he got sucked into the lab because he specifically asked, "Do you have a vacation in there?" to that balding man, and zoop! Everything went blank. I'm just gonna dramatically pause like that.
She sort of raises a hand and sort of pushes one of your arms down. Okay, so, based on your... Okay, so you have basically taken in the sum total of Daniel Hamaker's psyche, is what you're saying, yes?
His entire life.
I see. And based on memories, you determined that he was transported in some fashion?
That's the only thing I can think of. I remember sitting down and I was working with the lamp, praying that it worked, screw the light bulb in, the bald man with the cigar came out, asked what we could offer him, or what he could offer me, and
what he could offer Daniel, you mean?
What he could offer Hamaker, and he said, I suppose you don't have and then I switch accents immediately and say, I suppose you don't have a vacation in there. And he just went, whoop! Blank light.
Ada, did you hear that?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Well, Mr. Keerse, you... Now, unless you've had...
Lost your accent?
Unless you've had considerable training at the Old Vic that I don't know about, you just, what sounded like seamlessly and professionally, changed your accent into that of an older New York man. Were you aware that you did this?
Oh?
I see. Well, this is going to be a very long report. Now then.
Oh my.
Follow me here. Follow my
All
train
right.
of thought, yes? No, don't literally follow me. You stay on the ground. You don't move. Daniel Hamaka says, I don't suppose you have a vacation in there, yes?
Aye.
The being asks, what can I offer you this fine evening? That sounds to me like an entity which traffics in fantasies, in fulfillment. It's
Like I said
intending.
earlier, a djinn.
A what?
A djinn. Classic Arabic stories. Hamaka knew about this.
A djinn, a genie.
No. A djinn.
Yes.
There's a difference.
Well, pardon me for not paying closer attention to my Middle Eastern folk tales seminar at Oxford.
Anyway, is Oxford in, wait, real quick, is Oxford an English academy? I'm sorry.
Yes.
All right, Colin's just gonna stare slightly angrily.
Very,
As
very,
in, like,
very suddenly, you see Dr. Sweet's whole head basically just like. It's a lamp.
aye,
I don't know
it's
how
a
I didn't.
lamp.
I don't know how I didn't come up with that earlier. It's a bloody lamp. Mr. Keers, I think you may have stumbled upon the truth of the matter here in what is probably the clumsiest way I've ever seen.
I'll take it.
Gets results.
Now, we know that altered items are at least partially affected, generated by the interaction between the mental world and the world of the unphysical, the spiritual, the psychical, and
I know how to word it to ask to get Homaker back.
I'm not done with my explanation.
We say we would like Mr. Homaker to return from his vacation.
I was in the middle of a science monologue. I don't understand why you interrupted me.
I hand her the voice recorder.
What do you want me to do with this?
Record your monologue. We'll get back to it later. We've got the person to find.
Cullen, but before we jump into this, you seem to know quite a bit about Jin, you said?
Sorry, but Homaker knew a lot about Jin. I only heard stories in Ireland.
Well,
And
apparently,
I look at Sweets with like a little bit of a slight glare again.
well, apparently you know about Jin now, so there's no meaningful distinction between your memories and Daniel Hammaker's memories. At least that distinction is now breaking down.
Shite.
Now, before we go any further, before any of us does anything rash, it's important that we discuss what we're going to say.
We should write things down.
Yes. An unusual amount of foresight from you, Mr. Keers. Now then, what are you going to say or ask this being?
I ask to return Mr. Homaker from his vacation.
I see.
It sounds good.
In one piece and in good health.
I see. I think the better specificity, the more effective it will be. Yes?
Return Mr. Honaker from his vacation to us right here in one piece and in good health.
Very well.
Colin, since you know more about this mythology, do those stories usually, how do they go?
It's a little bit of all the even, depends how you ask your questions. Like, I've just got the worst fucking migraine I've ever had in my life. Shell shock ain't this bad. Ah!
That's
Ow, ow, ow.
yes. Yes. That was what I was afraid of. With that in mind, I'm not sure you, Mr. Keerse, should be asking the questions.
I'm alright with that. Oh, I'm just gonna go lay down behind the wall.
That sounds
And
good. Very good.
I just kind of crawl on my hands and knees and just kind of lay down.
Now then, Ada,
Yeah?
we need to engage in a second round of experimentation. And, well,
I think I've been better trained for this. If you...
yes,
Yeah.
that's... So, you know what you're going to say, yes?
Yes.
Very good. You hear out in the corner where the lamp is the sound of a crackling noise and then a shattering. And you can see sort of shards of light bulb are now sort of littered over the desk and the floor underneath. Well, we'll need to fetch another light bulb, and we'll need to get you some sort of protective suit, yes?
That sounds like a good idea.
Great. I'll go round up the hazmats, yes?
Sure. Let's start there.
And with that, our session is done for tonight.
Cool.
So
Don't get
I have a
PTSD.
Do I have to like roll an entire new set of events for Mr. Honaker?
No, thankfully. Those have already been established.
Whew. Okay, cool.
You do have to write a complete autobiography of Daniel Hamacher, though.
Everything you know.
He grew to I'm gonna say he was a paratrooper in North Africa.
No, that's wrong. You don't know him very well. You don't know him very well, do you? Anyway, so kind of an unusual session today because of the sort of liminal. We're in this kind of liminal space in between the end of the investigation and now the sort of experimentation and confrontation period, right? Well, some interesting things have happened. You guys lived, first of all. Successfully interacted.
Nice.
Successfully interacted with the altered item and didn't die, so that's also good. And you discovered some disturbing information about this Detective Amano and Dante, Plum's friend. Apparently, no one has heard of Amano, and neither can Dante remember that you ever spoke to him about it.
We should not go anywhere near that police station.
Nope.
I think something funny is happening there.
Well,
Well,
it's gonna
something's
go
funny
either
there.
way.
Going there.
Amano is an altered.
Well, I think Amano might be a para-utilitarian, but
Could be.
either that or using an altered item to his advantage.
I mean, it could just be general spycraft as well.
That's true.
I guess
He's
you'll
a
have,
Russian.
I guess
going
you'll have to
after
find
He's
out.
just the doctor.
Yeah. Oh no.
No, that's too much crossover. Anyway, so again, this is our feedback portion. How'd you feel about this session, and what you like and what you didn't like.
Glad to get further.
Yeah, I was definitely glad to get further along with it. I did not expect it to actually be a djinn. And because Cole was just like, a person's coming out of the lamp. It's a djinn. It's very unspecific about something.
Yep.
Just
It could have gone worse.
Could have been worse.
Way worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All I know is never. Just if Reese ever finds out exactly what that thing does. Oh my goodness.
Gonna be a real boy?
I was about to say,
no.
gonna be a real boy.
Not
Reese will come
necessarily.
back with an armful of light bulbs.
Yeah. There's going to be an itemized line in the budget. 38,000 light bulbs.
I mean, I'd be very surprised if the Bureau did not take advantage of this.
Well,
I mean, literally,
they're-
you could.
Sorry, go ahead.
You could probably literally ask about the location and function of every single other altered item currently in existence.
But not into my brain. I'd like a printout.
Right. You can only take so many ice cream headaches before you're just going to do the old-fashioned detective work. Yeah.
I'll flip through a pamphlet and highlight where it's in the U.S.
Yeah. You have one of those Rands or McNally's or whatever big atlases with a marker.
Yeah. Just
The djinn just puts it in like a giant punch card where it's like city blocks full of paper.
Yeah, you can just shove it into the difference engine that they've got there in the at the oldest house. Okay, so any other thoughts before we move on, or anything that was off or weird or didn't make sense?
I liked the twist with the whole Detective Amano thing. Hoping that goes somewhere. Getting excited about that. Yeah, otherwise pretty good. Kind of glad we didn't have like drag out combat. I like when it's kind of short and sweet.
Well,
especially when it's just one guy with a gun.
To be transparent, it was one guy with a gun, right?
Yeah.
And Cullen managed to do basically, a little more than half the guy's health in the 2 shots, right?
Nice.
So basically, it seemed to me like with the drop on this guy, with a proper weapon, and sort of the right, angle and everything like that, you can get some pretty disabling shots in, right? So that because of the successful stealth check and sort of the ambush of it, you guys sort of diffused that situation pretty quickly. So,
which works perfectly when you're considering like it's an investigation. We're trying to be as stealthy as we could possibly be.
Yeah.
Considering probably the sun hasn't even gone down yet when we were in there.
It was already dark.
Oh, okay,
but
okay.
Those 2 gunshots, I mean, they weren't muffled at all. They were just out.
No.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I'm a little bit proud of myself. I'm a little bit proud of myself for that quick way of implying that the lamp may have been stolen by the accomplice, just to cover our asses with the cops coming.
By the way,
yeah, I recognize that.
Good, quick thinking. Yeah.
I like that.
And if you had me roll with deception, I have a +7 to that. So.
Well, it's just the sort of thing that you slip under the radar, and like most of the time, Dante's already like exasperated and confused by this whole situation, recently woken, and now has to deal with this crime scene basically in a semi-legal fashion, right?
Extra legal.
Cleaning up for a buddy.
Yeah, you gotta. All right, well, I'm gonna fudge some numbers and like smudge some details, right?
No, I'm the dirty cop now.
Yeah, but that's exactly the sort of detail you just slip in there, and he's like, oh yeah, sure, yeah. Okay. Well, again, thank you all for joining me. I hope you enjoyed tonight's session. And next time,
Oh yeah.
we will try to. Well, you
Remember,
guys.
it's Tuesday.
It is Tuesday. Section C is going to attempt their first rescue mission, trying to get Daniel Hamacher back from whatever place or time or alternate dimension that he may be occupying.
It's just the Bahamas.
Cullen's
nine.
brain.
Yeah,
Hell.
you have to go inside Cullen's brain, Psychonaut style. Yeah,
Oh god, you're gonna hate what you see in there.
yeah.
I imagine your brain would be a lot like the coaches in Psychonauts.
Oh jeez.
I don't know what that means because
You need to play Psychonauts. It's so good.
You should play it.
Yeah.
It's good.
I had it free for a while.
Okay, well, let's all wave goodbye to the audience and Ross's grandmother.
Bye, Ross's grandmother.
Bye-bye. See you next time.
Dragon Ball Z.